welcome to We Are ACEDS. I am Maribel Rivera, your weekly or bi-weekly host. I am an independent marketing and event strategist and the Senior Director of Community Relations at ACEDS. If you've been here before, you already know the rules. Drop some messages in our chat box. Let's engage. We want to hear from you. Our guests are always willing to answer any questions that you may have. But if you're new to this, we'd love to have you just add any comments, provide any feedback, say hello. We want to say hello. We want to hear from you. So let's just make sure that you're engaging with us. And then I am really excited today because we're always showcasing some of our members. And this week I am joined by Chioma Deere of Williams, Leininger, and Cosby. And Chioma is part of our South Florida chapter. So I'm really excited to have her here today. Hey, Chioma.
Hi, Maribel. How are you?
I am awesome. How are you?
Great. Happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
No, thank you so much for joining me. Again, I'm always excited to, have everyone here. And you and I have been really talking to each other offline all the time. So it's really nice to get to spend some time with you live and with all of our community just to share a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Great. Yeah, I'm ready.
Good. And so given that, can you share a little bit with me about who you are, like your background, and then why did you choose to get into eDiscovery?
Sure. I'd be happy to. So I am a Florida attorney, as well as a eDiscovery certified specialist. I have been practicing in Florida as an attorney since 2008, so 13 years now. But since 2011, I've been neck deep in eDiscovery, either in the trial and litigation practice, or just as a person on the hill, I think we would say. I'm always on the soapbox about eDiscovery and data. And if I'm not actually actively doing something in litigation or in trial practice with eDiscovery, I've always been teaching. I've been presenting CLEs. I've been teaching judges and presenting CJEs, judicial education credits. And it's just been a huge passion of mine. I became involved in electronic discovery specifically. I've always been an amateur technologist, is what I call myself. Always fascinated by technology, how things work, privacy, information, and how all of that intersects with litigation. I started really becoming involved in electronic discovery in about 2011 in a multi-million-dollar insurance litigation case where I came on as the discovery lawyer. And then midway through the litigation, it turned into eDiscovery. And I always call it my trial by fire. And I thank the partner who said, sure, you can do this. You can figure this out. And it was something that I completely fell in love with. I especially like the fact that all of these attorneys, there were like 10 attorneys in that particular case that I remember. And so many of them were like, what is ESI and things like that. So I felt really blessed to be able to come into the space and do a lot of good work during that time. And since then, it's just been a passion of mine. I started looking into getting more training and more information about to do my job better, but also to find out about this fascinating area of the law since then in 2011.
So you brought up a great point, and I just want to touch on that. So it sounds like you had a partner who really believed in you. Did that partner know anything about ESI or eDiscovery, or was it just like, yeah, I believe in you, I've got a lot of faith, here, go do it?
To his credit, I don't, I'll defend him and say, I don't think that he was really thinking much about it. And sometimes I felt like I was a warm body, but other times I felt like he thought that I was smart and he wanted to make sure that this particular area got taken care of. It literally turned into the tail wagging the $150 million dog. And it was one of those things where I really got a chance to prove myself. So even if it wasn't 100%, yeah, we have faith in you, but given the opportunities and quite frankly, the leeway to select the tools and the people and put together project management, which I really didn't know about at the time, to execute and make sure that it didn't continue to be that huge thing in that case was eye-opening. It was a great opportunity. I, got a lot of exposure to not only, co-counsel and opposing counsel, but also to the judiciary who, relied on some of the things that I was saying regarding eDiscovery, even though I was for a particular party. So for me, it was kind of both, being given the opportunity, but also having that wind in my sail that, they allowed me to move forward with that huge project. Right. And really start my love of this area of the law.
So, and I know I gave you some questions, but I'm just going to throw you some questions out of left field.
Sure.
Since you're an attorney, right? Quite often we hear from some attorneys that they don't really need to understand eDiscovery because they're not all of them are doing it. Why do you think an attorney should understand eDiscovery?
So my mantra in my CLEs and my CJEs is that every single one of us as attorneys are eDiscovery attorneys. You have one of these, so you are an eDiscovery attorney. The data that we create is digitally is so much more than we could possibly create by hand or even a typewriter, if those still exist, other than for show. So to leave anything like that on the table, you're doing a disservice to yourself. You're not following the rules, because at least, and definitely in Florida, and I think 30 or so other states, the rule about technological competence and also adopting the rules regarding ESI, that discovery is ESI and eDiscovery is discovery. All of that is so pervasive in our practices in every area of the law. And yes, it may be in varying degrees, but it's not something that should be ignored. And you're doing a disservice to yourself as a practicing attorney before your state bar, as well as to your clients for not finding out about it and things like that. I mean, in Florida, in federal court, it's a part of the rules. You literally have to follow the rules when it comes to that. So I think it's really important, and I take every opportunity that I can to educate my fellow members of the bar and the judiciary when I can about how important it is and how this type of evidence is critical to every case.
Great, thank you. That's really helpful, because I think I have conversations with attorneys all the time who are, not all of them, right? Because ACEDS has quite a number, I think a large number of attorneys who are eDiscovery certified or trained. So it's good to hear that you at least are leading the charge, especially in Florida, where we see a lot of attorneys getting more and more involved, especially just from participating in the University of Florida Levin College of Law's annual conference. We're starting to see, I think they had over 1,400 people from Florida just attending the conference. So that was a big thing. I want to talk a little bit more with you about your certification, because you just became a certified eDiscovery specialist. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I know it's not a small task, especially being a busy attorney. You're practicing, you're conducting CLEs, you're educating the market. So I want to just ask about, how did you decide, first, how did you find ACEDS, and why did you decide to become certified?
Well, I've always kept in touch with Mike Quateraro. And so that's how I kind of sort of found out about it. Mike was my teacher back in 2013, I want to say. He actually was one of my teachers for the eDiscovery project management certification that I received. He taught me about project management in eDiscovery and wrote the book, right? So, I've always kept in touch with this eDiscovery tribe, and as new things like ACEDS came up, I was very interested in it. I found out about it several years ago, and I just thought that it was something that I needed to get under my belt. And more of my mentors and the people that I look up to recommended that I go ahead and get that certification. It just was just magical that it was Mike again who was in my life at that time as well. And for me, ACEDS was not just what do you know, and let's test it, let's prove that you know this. It was really joining another community. I had, by the time I got to studying for ACEDS, I had been taking CLEs, been learning more, getting more training and things like that. And I felt like this was a good culmination of this part of my practice to really get that certification and share with my community that I do have this knowledge, as well as to my clients and to the people that I'm teaching, right, about eDiscovery.
So it sounds like you like to, so you said you were a technologist, so it sounds like you like to stay up to date as not just as an attorney, but as a technologist, knowing what's going on.
Amateur technology.
So can you share a little bit? You mentioned an eDiscovery project management certification. You have the ACEDS. What other certifications do you have?
Those, as far as eDiscovery, those are the two that I have right now. I have, I'm still interested in others. Right now, I'm studying for my privacy professional certification with some of my fellow eDiscovery tribe members. And I'm looking forward to that. eDiscovery is such a unique and ubiquitous field where we touch literally everything, just like law. There's so many areas that you can get involved in, and so many opportunities and areas of the law that you can become involved in just by knowing how to interact, search, collect, preserve, and so on with data. And I think starting this process is going to really help me to go that much further. And having my ACEDS certification certainly pushed me towards that goal as well.
So talking more about your ACEDS, it isn't an easy process. I know a lot of people come in and they're like, oh, I can do this. I'm an attorney. I passed the bar. Can you share like that journey just from the minute you were able to access that information and started studying all the way through to getting that email that said you passed?
Sure. And I really want to thank Williams, Leininger, and Cosby for supporting me in this endeavor and just helping me to proceed in helping their clients as well as helping the firm protect their clients' data and move the firm that much closer to being, wholly eDiscovery proficient. They supported me in this endeavor of signing up for the course and taking the ACEDS, the ACEDS exam. When I first got it, someone told me that I had a year to take it. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be studying this whole time. And then pick out the times that I'm going to do it. Then COVID pandemic hit, and I literally took the entire year to figure it out, because it is such a study. It's an intensive study experience. It's not something that is a easy thing to do. I don't know how else to describe it, but for me as a practicing attorney, doing everything else, and unfortunately dealing with the pandemic and everything that was going on, it was hard for me to get through that process. And Thankfully, it was virtual. I was able to take the exam from the comfort of my own home. But it was a significant process, and I really appreciated the intense study support as well as the training that went into preparing for the exam. And I was ecstatic. I literally did not know if I passed. I was ecstatic when I passed. And all of those eDiscovery Rockstar things that come out after you pass, I wanted one of those. I really wanted one of those. So I was ecstatic when I got one of those as well, because I always felt connected to ACEDS and that tribe of people, but it felt especially gratifying and fulfilling after everything that I've done in my career along eDiscovery lines to get that certification and get that acknowledgement. And it was, I felt like I really, I definitely accomplished something, but it felt like I gave birth in a because I was trying to get everything get through a lot, and I think in fact it helped me to focus a lot during a really difficult time.
Yeah. And I think I was one of those people that were like, yeah, you can do this, you got this, and you have a year to do it. So just looking back at that, were there moments when you were studying that you were like, oh, I didn't know this? Like, you've been practicing eDiscovery for a while, and apologies, and doing that work. But is there something that you took away from that, all the studying and everything that you did, that kind of was like, oh, I didn't even realize that?
Yeah, several things. The EU laws, those weren't things that I was dealing with all the time. So getting more knowledge about the protection of personal information or personally identifying information, that was, eye-opening. And that was one of the areas that I was like, please, not too many questions on this one, please. Also, learning more about Slack and those other types of ephemeral data, that was something that I didn't do very often. So being able to really dig deep and dive deep and get more information about that was something that really helped me as well, because I felt like I didn't have to take an extra CLE for that. I really got some good information out of that. So, it felt holistic, in terms of the type of information that I needed to know.
Yeah. So given all that, a year of studying, especially after during COVID, everything you prepared for, would you even recommend the ACEDS program to anybody?
I would. For the same reason I wanted to take it those many years, and not just take the exam, but be a part of ACEDS. This is a significant institution in the eDiscovery community. It is not something that you can't really say eDiscovery nowadays without having that come up. It is the only certification along those lines that show your proficiency with electronic discovery and tests it using, Barbie, which has been an institution for lawyers for so long. So it was something that to me was a no-brainer. It just took me a while to get to it, and I think with the right amount of time and the right amount of dedication to it, and given the leeway that ACEDS does provide to allow you to take it, it is definitely worth doing. Not only that, but ACEDS provides a lot of resources to help you to ensure that type of success, including study sessions and having ACEDS led study sessions for people to go over things. That was helpful too. So I definitely recommend it.
Awesome. One of the things that I am so excited about is that you got your certification, and you talk about community a lot and being an eDiscovery rock star. So after you got your certification, you reached out and you were like, I want to get more involved. And so you are now a board member of the South Florida chapter. And I'd love to find out a little bit more with you about you're involved, like, what do you want to achieve? What are you hoping to achieve as far as ACEDS in the South Florida region?
Sure. I mean, I've I've kept up with, all the different activities with ACEDS worldwide, which is awesome because we get to connect with everyone, across the globe and learn more about their practice. I tried to sign up for something that was like across, and it was too early in the morning. But there are so many great ways to interact and be involved in this community. And that's one of the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to support the South Florida community. I am interested in, helping to expand our chapter, as well as expand the offerings of our chapter. And I'm looking forward to our, the first the event that we have. We've had events in the past, either by ourselves or with women in eDiscovery, and I'm looking forward to those types of connections, being able to connect and educate our community, and be represented in the South Florida area, which is now more than ever vibrant when it comes to eDiscovery. So I'm looking forward to being involved in that.
Great. Thank you so much. Is there anything else? We've talked about your background. We've talked about your certification. We've talked about South Florida chapter and your involvement there. What else do you want to share with our community as far as an eDiscovery person, as far as the legal community? Is there anything you want to just on our final thoughts and comments?
Sure. There are so many areas of the law and I like to encourage younger attorneys who are just coming into the field of law, encouraging them that they're all eDiscovery attorneys, but also that this area of the law, even though it may seem narrow, but evidence is what you need for any case, and the fact that it's digital should not be intimidating. It should be something that makes you feel free, because if you have the proper training and you have the proper knowledge regarding it, especially here in Florida, there are so many resources that can help you to be an excellent electronic discovery attorney and have a lot of good knowledge regarding ESI and how it can apply to all the different cases. So I would encourage young lawyers to definitely continue to, if they haven't gotten that type of training in their law school careers, to seek out that type of training, seek out that type of community, even if you're not all the way in like I am. But definitely know people like me and others like me who can help your case and can help your clients. I am also a consultant for ESI and eDiscovery. I've worked with other attorneys to help them, get good results in their litigation cases. I also am available as a special master or special magistrate in Florida to help parties, mediate disputes regarding electronic discovery. I will continue always to present on ESI and eDiscovery. So if anyone needs a speaker along those lines, please feel free to reach out to me. And in any capacity, even if it's as a consultant as well. And the other thing that I always try to convey to everyone is eDiscovery is not just for humongous cases with multiple litigants and multiple parties. Yes, I started my journey with a huge case that had, over 200 custodians, 100, servers and computers and cloud and everything like that. But that's not everything that eDiscovery is. The bottom line is eDiscovery is evidence in your case. eDiscovery is a way for you to help your clients. And one of the newest things that I started in my practice is preservation. really honing in on that. Unfortunately, the nature of litigation means that litigation doesn't start for years and years and years after. But
Right.
even if it's a small case, that's still an important aspect of it, because you need the evidence for your case and to help your clients. So I always encourage everyone to not disregard ESI and disregard the power that electronic discovery can have in your case, even if it's a small case. By leveraging this information to the benefit of yourself and your clients, you can really do a great service. And that's what we're, as attorneys, are supposed to be doing. And then finally, I am continuing with my journey as an eDiscovery specialist. It's hard to say SEDS every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I am going to make sure that I continue to network with my tribe. And thanks to ACEDS and other organizations that I'm involved in, I am happy to say that it's a global community. And that is something that I've really been happy about, that it's not just people in the US. And having that knowledge and training from the ACEDS, from the SEDS exam, as well as just being involved with all these CLEs, has really helped me to hone my practice, as well as be a good tribe member and help other people who might need help with this area of the law.
Thank you. And
You're welcome.
And just to talk about that a little bit, we've got some big announcements this week around a new chapter launching. And we've got 3 global chapters launching soon. So we're excited about that. And then Sharon, who is watching, actually had a question and was like, just attorneys, not paralegals. So before we leave, and we already,
yes,
I just want to say, what do you think? I know ACEDS we've got many paralegals. Sheila Grella is one of our paralegals. Mike started as a paralegal. So it's not just attorneys, right?
No, absolutely not. In fact, a SEDS professional is just that. There are so many different areas that people can become involved in electronic discovery, from anyone involved in litigation support, really, IT people, just having this knowledge of the EDR spectrum, the EDRM spectrum, really, knowing that you really do have to start with information governance, and that doesn't necessarily involve attorneys right away. So ACEDS is literally for everyone. As long as you are a professional and you are in contact, or you have contact with ESI and eDiscovery, I mean, you can't really separate that with just attorneys.
Right.
I know that, and I used to be a paralegal as well, but I know that there are so many paralegals who are integral parts of so many areas of practice, and they're their own business people. I mean, they don't necessarily have to work with a law firm. So paralegals, yes, are definitely SEDS, a part of our SEDS communities, our ACEDS communities. So yeah.
Yes, thank you. And I totally agree with you. There's right, paralegals are so integral to the litigation process as well for attorneys and litigation support. So totally, yes, not just attorneys. Anyone, like Chioma said, anyone involved in the litigation process should understand it and get some foundational knowledge. Well, Chioma, I can't thank you enough for joining me, for taking some time out of your very busy schedule, because I know it's very busy, to join us for We Are ACEDS. So anyone who wants to get in touch with Chioma, you can reach out to her. Again, she's on our South Florida board. You can reach out to southflorida@aceds.org, and she'll reach back out to you and let you know what's going on with the South Florida chapter. And of course, you can connect with her on LinkedIn. I'm sure she'll love to connect with you. And that's it for this week's episode of We Are ACEDS. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter. Follow our chapters on LinkedIn. They each have their own group or company page, like South Florida. So please get involved if you're in the South Florida area or in the Florida area. And if you missed this episode or any part of it, you can catch us on YouTube or any of the ACEDS social channels. The videos are there live for you. They're also on the ACEDS website. This week coming up, we've got George Sosha on Friday, who hosts George Sosha of Reveal, who hosts our eDiscovery Leaders Live. And next Tuesday is our Case of the Week with Kelly Twigger. Please make sure to subscribe for notifications when we go live, and we will see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.